Today we're doing a 303 special, and instead of using full power 303s, we're going to try some plinking rounds. I've got 95 grain 32 caliber balls, and then I've got 32 20s 100 grain with a gas check. This 32-20, I think I'm going to try one like this. It's got, I'm not going to go into loads, you're going to have to look at the loads yourself, at least on this one. This one's got some 296 in it, and it's also got a fiber filler to keep the 296 up against the primer. This one has some 231. I'm also going to be trying some unique as well on some other loads, and the 95 grain ball. These are two that I created the other night using the Lee loading kit. This one here has 2 scoops of unique. This one here is a little bit different. This one, instead of using a rifle primer, just an old pack I had kicking around, I'm using a large rifle primer, but I'm boring out the I'm going to bore out the hole a little bit. I still have to leave enough of a lip on the inside so it'll catch the primer, but it'll make it a bigger flash hole. So I'm just using a Lee reloading kit. There's several videos online on how to use these, so we won't get too much involved. And we'll get started. So we're going to start with a piece of primed sized brass. My soft face mallet's missing in action, and I'm doing the video, so unfortunately I'm going to have to be gentle and use the big hammer. Okay, so we're going to measure out our powder. And I'm not going to say the exact size of that, but it is equivalent to a very strong, or a stout, perhaps. It's a better way of putting it, 357. But the projectile is a whole lot lighter, so. And if you notice, there is a gas check. Alright, I'm hoping that's the right. I'm hoping that's the right depth. Hold this up in the air, I think, to do it. Guess I can't. I'll just get a little wipe here. And voila! We have a 303 cartridge with a 100 grain bullet at the end, and it's cooking off about a 357 load. So we'll see how that works. Our next bullet, what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of brass and this drill, and we're going to ruin this piece of 303 brass. So what we've done is we made the flash hole quite a bit bigger. We are going to prime this with one Magnum primer, because 2 won't fit. I'm going to slide my goggles down. primed. I mentioned this was unsized. 32 caliber ball made from a Lee mold. I believe that's 95 grains. Oops. So you don't want to hear from your reloader. Oops. Just have to get the ball out. It's sank all the way to the bottom. So what I'm going to do to hold that one, I could gouge it in with a little bit of Vaseline. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use the crimp version on the die set here. And just give it a wee tap. Guess I should be holding that down and not against my stomach since that's a little bit of a rifle. So anyway, I'm just going to crimp that. The top half, if you give it a tap downwards, of course you want to be tapping on the primer. That'll give it a bit of a roll, and voila, you have an unsized, reprimed piece of 303 brass with a 95 grain ball on it and a Magnum primer. Now I do believe a friend of mine, he's got his own channel, quite a successful firearms channel, 314299, said he got 600 feet per second off of a normal primer in the same configuration. So I'm interested to see how that shoots.